Today I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the Feast of the Holy Innocent Children. The Feast of the Holy Innocents is a celebration that commemorates the killing of innocent infants under the order of King Herod. These infants were born to some ordinary Jewish families who lived around Bethlehem, who took care for them with hope, tenderness, and love. They were approximately 1 to 2 years old, with some only months or even just days old. According to the Gospel of Matthew, at the time of their birth, Judea was ruled by a king named Herod, whose leadership was full of insecurities and greed. After Jesus was born, the Magi from the east saw a shining star and followed it, where they came to Jerusalem. When they arrived, they then asked about the newborn child who was going to be the king of the Jews. When Herod heard about this, he was deeply disturbed, and he believed the newborn might disrupt his power. He then sent back the Magi to search for the child and report back to him after they had found his location. However, after visiting Jesus, they were warned by God and did not return to him, knowing that he intended to harm the newborn child. As he waited, he realized that the Magi were not coming back to him, and he got furious and mad. Determined to eliminate any threat to his throne, he ordered his soldiers to kill all male children in Jerusalem who were 2 years old and under. However, after the Magi visited the newborn king, Joseph was warned in a dream, where an angel instructed him to take Mary and the child and flee to Egypt. This provided a way for the Holy Family to escape the coming massacre. When Joseph woke up, he told Mary of his dream, and together they immediately set out their journey to Egypt. Soon after, the soldiers of Herod started entering the town. They then ransacked every house and took the innocent infants, aged 2 years and younger. As their parents resisted and begged the army to stop, their babies were forcibly taken from their arms and were brutally killed in front of their eyes. These infants were completely innocent, yet they sacrificed their lives so that Jesus might live and fulfill the promise of the coming Messiah. According to some Bible experts, they were considered as the first martyrs who died for Jesus, not by choice or confession, but by circumstance and innocence. And it was also speculated that in Bethlehem alone, there were about 30 to 40 infants who were killed during the massacre. But some Eastern scholars believe that an estimate of 14,000 infants were killed during the massacre, which they say lasted for several months. In the late 3rd century, the early church had begun commemorating the Holy Innocents in their sacred celebrations. Later, the feast was officially added in the liturgical calendar on the 28th of December, and it was observed in a solemn and reflective manner, even though it fell shortly after the joyful celebration of the birth of Jesus, which later came to be known as Christmas. Although these infants were unknown and their lives were short, their death has become part of the events that allowed Jesus and his family to flee to Egypt and fulfill the promise of the coming Messiah. If you like stories like this, support us, follow, like, and subscribe.